What's up, Bitcoin?
And we are live. Good morning, Crypto Warriors, and welcome back to the Gentleman of Crypto episode 1322. Today is Monday, April 7, 2025, and I'm King here to bridge the gap between community and crypto most days, Monday through Friday at 7 a.m.-ish. And today's top stories: Black Monday 2.0, 5 things to know in Bitcoin this week. Crypto ETPs shed 240 million last week amid U.S. trade tariffs, says CoinShares. Whale makes $14 million Ether emergency deposit to avoid $340 million liquidation, and PayPal Venmo to roll out Solana and Chainlink transfers and more. But first and foremost, of course, let's go ahead and take a good look at these cryptocurrency and Bitcoin prices. I will say the good thing right now is I saw the prices super early this morning because, of course, a lot of people are already talking about the weekend. Expect this to be a bad Monday with the trade tariffs, of course, what is prompting this from a lot of people's eyes. But everybody's waiting for the Monday morning play. What was going to happen? It dipped even further this morning in the wee early hours of the morning, and have since already recovered within like 3 to 4 percentage points on different cryptocurrencies and tokens out there. So that is a good thing right now. That hey, the market has already slightly recovered. I do think there is more pain before there is gain. But I don't think this is the end all be all, of course. The market is still alive and well. With that being said, Bitcoin $78,259, only down 4.3% on the 24-hour clock. Like I said, a lot of these have reset because prices were down 18, 19% on a few different tokens. Ethereum is at 1,567, only down 10.75% now. You can see on the 7 days, it says 14.28%. I'll even go a little further than that. I think they actually hit about 18% between yesterday and the day before. Ripple is at $1.88, down 8.3%. BNB, number 5, $556, down 4.2%. Number 7, Solana, $106. I saw Solana at $100, $101 for sure. So the 24-hour clock is reading 7.6. Like I said, is recovering right now as the day begins. But as you can see on the 7-day cycle, it's at down 15.74%. And if you think about Friday's show, you just look at Friday's episode and look at the 7-day cycle and 24-hour cycle. Then this all came within the last like 24, 48 hours. So I would say the actualized number would probably be the 7-day cycle one right now and not the 24-hour one for many of them. And even then, it's a little bit more because Bitcoin dipped a little further as well. So I say 6 or 7% Bitcoin. Ethereum, like I said, is showing 13% now. I would go as far as like 17, 16%. Solana for sure hit 18 or 19%. Dogecoin, who was paying attention? Not me, but they're at 14 cent, down 8.11%. Tron at number 9, 22 cent, down 4.6%. And Cardano, number 10 at 57 cent, down 7.5%. The real question to me is, well, now I have two real questions as I look at the top tokens because I just saw a new one. But my first real question is, what's the over under? Is there a poly market bet? If not, we need to set one up. What's the over under? Does Cardano blow up first, or does it become successful first? Like, because they needed this bull cycle right here. They can't afford to go through another bear market or sideways market and just promo market the whole way through. So I don't know. What's over under that? And the second thing is, Eunice said Leo. What is this? I haven't seen it yet, but oh my, is number 11. And Toncoin is actually number 12 now, $3.10, down 5.3%. And really quick, I want to take a quick peek at Toncoin today too, because here's the thing, folks. If you believe in your project, if you believe in some of these different cryptos and whatever in Bitcoin, this is the time to buy it. It is on sale. I'm actually ecstatic about this right now, this dip happening. I hope it continues for at least another 6 months or so, because again, it gives you a chance to dollar cost average and get more at a cheaper price. First and foremost, Fear and Greed Index is at a 17. But here it is, folks. I've been calling it now for I think 2.5 months. I mean, I don't want to be correct, but I'm correct about it. Bitcoin dominant, 62.6%. Ethereum, 7.5%. Shout out to Coin Market Cap for realizing this as well and taking it off of that that Ethereum dominance where it's blown up at. I mean, again, in another few months, they may need to stop actually putting it on the top, or you have to add Ripple and Solana, a few other tokens, right? Like I mean, at this point, put Dogecoin dominance on there. We're gonna put Ethereum dominance. So It was a great ride, Ethereum. We'll be talking about them in a moment, but again, that roller coaster, it's starting to look like that old wooden roller coaster that's been in the back of the music park for forever. It's like, oh, everybody knows it's fun to ride, blah blah blah. Like duck at that one part, or you will literally lose your head. But it is a fun roller coaster. It was a good time. Some people still go back there. It's a little dusty. But yeah, Ethereum is dying that slow death. Again, is that 7.5? Let me go back to 7.5%. Woo! And that's with a $80,000 Bitcoin essentially still as it recovers right now. $79,486. Ethereum is at $1,500. But again, the more damning thing is their dominance. So they're essentially keeping their market cap, but people just aren't going back into it. So every time an incident happens where the market shakes, is essentially, I would say, a lot, at least easy 5% of their retraction could be, or retracement could be, just placed on people who don't pay attention to Bitcoin and crypto every day, who only pay attention during the headline cycles, and they see a headline like this, they're like, oh, okay, let me check my Ethereum. We're like, hey, it's still not doing nothing, or they're still having problems, or the gas fees are still high, or whatever else the issue is. And they say, well, hell, let me put some in Solana then. Let me put some in whatever other layer two Cardano then. It's vice versa. So I think that's essentially what's happening with Ethereum is as the cycles continue to go into crypto, more people are asking themselves, why am I holding my money here when you can get better returns from the investors and other projects? And then as far as the technology go, there might be better horses to bet on at this point, because you remember the new projects are essentially taking Ethereum's code and they're just rebranding and doing, like, adding little new things about their project. They're making it more efficient or effective, or so they think they are. But they're essentially starting at step 10 instead of step one. So they're catching Ethereum on the first day in the office. They're like, okay, everything they've been doing, we can do officially now on day one. Doesn't mean they don't have to learn from some of those processes and fully expertise in them, but at the base layer, they have a lot of the same uh, structural and technological things that Ethereum already has. So again, that's why I think it's going to have this slow death. Not death, I won't say death, but it'll just slowly decline out of the limelight, which is kind of already been doing. The luster's gone. All right, what else do we have? What is this? All right, I wanted to see this. Eunice said LEO, UNUSSEDLEO. For those who are listening, let's go ahead. Oh, I just closed it by mistake. Let me open that back up. Let me open that back up and share. I want to know what this is. Let me know in the chat. I'm about to say what's up to the chat, of course. All right, Eunice said LEO. Let's go down to a ton of markets. So I might have missed this one already. It's a token burn mechanism means. Wait, oh, all right. Oh, they're talking about token burn mechanisms. What is this? What is it? A token burn mechanism means iFinex is committed to buying back units, said LEO, from the market on a monthly basis. They're talking about the tokenomics. They're talking about what makes it unique. Here it is. iFinex, the company behind Bitfinex. Oh, this is Bitfinex's stuff. Launch LEO as a utility token designed to provide comprehensive benefits across trading platforms. If it's a Bitfinex trading token, hey, at least they got some capital behind it. That's all I'll say. Where that money came from and who it belongs to, who knows? But if it's a Bitfinex back one, yeah, I can see how that could jump to number 11. Well, how long has this been out? What just happened for it to jump up to, though? Let me just scroll up really quick. I can see how and why it's at number 11 if Bitfinex backs it, though. If you know, you know. All right. A lot of big money over at Bitfinex since its 2019 launch. Why is this number 11 right now? What is going on? They must have launched something else. Somebody let me know in the chat what's going on when Eunice said LEO. Why and how did they just pop up at number 11? Totally caught me off guard. With that being said, number 12, I think it were today, is Toncoin right behind it. I just want to take a quick peek at Toncoin's charts. Let's go to all time. Yeah, so all time Toncoin was at $8 and like what, $8. Let's say $8, whatever. And those look like to be spikes, so it wasn't sustained, but there were spikes where they got $7 and some change. You see here 720, 790s. Okay, so they got about 750. Let's say 750 on average at their spikes. Right now is at $3.15. You're talking about a Pavel Durov, whatever his name is. I always say his name wrong. He just got released, or they're off them. The feds are off him in different countries. He's getting telegram back from up under him. The SEC is easing off of the United States government, is easing off of him, and he has products and he has a lot of capital investors who have access to a ton of money. You remember he had the $18 billion, or was it $4 or $5 billion between 18 investors? something of the sort. Billions of dollars, small amount of investors, but he's back out. He's back out in these streets, and it's about to be a hot summer. I think again, if you're looking for deals and stuff, this may be one of the ones that interests some people because we're not out of the full bull cycle. I don't think maybe we'll see some small spotty sideways movement like we have been, some bear motions, but I don't think we're in a full bear market. I mean, really, is Bitcoin to go to nosedive? I just don't see it happening. If it does, that'd be a great day. I just don't see it happening, especially if nothing happens to the technology. And this is all just essentially cash price changing, right? The dollar volatility, not Bitcoin's volatility. But my point is, if this continues on, then projects like Toncoin could benefit, man. They already have a community, they have a market, they have products, and they have a energetic and readily available CEO and founder who just essentially got released from the grasp of the federal chokehold, who I'm sure is ready to get back active and back to work. So I don't know, but my point is, it's not just Toncoin; it's plenty of other tokens like that. If you're looking to trade up on some cash capital and get back some more Bitcoin return, these may be some interesting plays. But again, market is alive and well. With that being said, let me give some shout outs. Oh man, I see the chat's going crazy. Jump Out Girls, Ron Jones, got a lot of Shira Banks, Patrick Walter, Les Square, Chloe Dior, Power of Nine, Elmatic, Zyro, Wisdom Bars. Good morning, morning, morning. Did Trump have a heart attack? The market has reversed so quick. I'm wondering why. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's crazy. I was looking at the market yesterday. I saw it going into this morning, whatever. I was up super early today, and it was like, for one, it wasn't that scary either. Coin Telegraph and everybody else. I mean, I get it. That's their job, or whatever, especially to make interesting clickbaitish pieces. But everyone had that FUD going on, which I talked about last week, where it's like the world is ending, the market's in disarray. And it's like, to be real, to be super real, there has been random days in the crypto, multiple random days throughout the week, forget the month, where you've seen 20% dips and then like a 30% pump and then like an 18% dip. So like, this is nothing new to us. The market is maturing. We're not seeing these type of dips and pumps anymore. But let's not forget where we came from, folks. This used to be the norm, even for top 10 tokens. All right. So to see it, it wasn't like a big deal to begin with. It was like, okay, big dip, whatever. Uh, this is a discounted and deal for some projects. I was looking, I'm like, holy smokes. Some of these projects that people really believe in and their community is still there with fervor. I mean, by a hot summer, these prices will balloon. So seeing that happen is just like, all right, well, there's no worries, no fear. The market's still here. The technology hasn't changed. But seeing the narratives around it, especially from an institutional side, and remember, 2 to 3% is a big deal to them. So seeing 18% articles, 20% here, 25%, I could understand what's the motivation behind it. But again, I think it's the wrong narrative. The market's still alive and well. Yes, the tariffs and the cash derivative plays affected, which we'll talk about. Yes, but is it the end of the market or anything like that? No, it's just another day in Bitcoin and crypto. And if you're a long-term holder, this would be a day you didn't even need to pay attention to. Like, this is a day you should be. I was a Monday, so either at work or on the beach somewhere with your feet kicked up. There's nothing to worry about. Trade tariffs and blah blah blah, and dollar volatility is the bottom line. That should be the thing: is dollar volatility, not technological or crypto volatility. Black Monday 2.0, 5 things to know in Bitcoin this week. Again, the news cycle is slow when I'm looking at articles like this. Bitcoin battles everything from a death cross to record low sentiment as U.S. trade tariffs wreak havoc across global markets. Will 2021 prices return? If so, thank goodness. I hope it goes even cheaper and deeper than that because, whoo, man, folks, the project's been working. No one has proven the technology otherwise than what it is, looking at the Bitcoin network in general. Um, there's no reason for it to not reclaim 108,000 and beyond. So we want it to go low and stay low for as long as possible. It's not going to last, but I mean, if you're lucky, according to Jake Fever, this isn't even happening again going low. But right, let's just say if it were to get like some impressive dip, like at most you're looking at 6 months to 2 years max. Like, I don't see it staying longer than that, especially now that institutions have a foothold in it. If anything, they'll try to slow roll their buys back into 100K, 150K and try to sink it again so they can rinse, wash, and repeat. Hopefully, having retail investors sell their long-term hold it Bitcoin. But so a few things that they're saying going on. Bitcoin is giving up bull market support lines left and right as new death cross completes on the Bitcoin USD daily chart. One of the reasons why, as well, this market sentiment and is being affected like this, as far as the actual technical side of the house. When you're looking at technical analysis, a lot of people are getting liquidated, folks. A lot of people are getting liquidated. Again, this is the best time to trade, whether you're using leverage to go long or short some of these different markets. A lot of people are getting liquidated. So it's like you can't even really blame the market itself, or especially not the tokens themselves or the coins themselves or whatever else. You cannot blame the digital asset. This is all the derivatives of the market. These are all people doing things to affect the dollar cost price of this market, of these markets. So CPI week is firmly overshadowed by US trade tariffs and their increasingly global impact on stock markets. We talked about that in detail. Both crypto and TradeFi market participants are drawing comparisons to Black Monday 1987 and the COVID 19 cross market crash. And this is where I push back. How can the crypto market compare? Like, okay, the COVID-19, I get it, but not to the Black Monday or anything like that. And even then, the COVID-19 one was so new and peculiar because it was something where supposedly everyone was catching something that could kill you, right? So it was like money doesn't even matter anymore. Like Bitcoin doesn't matter, crypto doesn't matter, gold, money doesn't matter. Like, as far as Los Angeles goes, during COVID, when it first started, and of course, we were shut down for like 2.5 years or something like that. Like there was the protests going on from the COVID protests, the George Floyd protests. There was riots of both, riots protesting the COVID lockdowns and stuff. So there was so much going on. No one cared about money anymore. It got to the point. It was like, do you have food and do you have something to protect yourself? No one was like, oh, we gotta have money. It was like, no, you need food or something to protect yourself with, or somewhere to be safe. So I think that was like an anomaly across markets. Um, if anything, I would just compare it to the similar retracements we've seen after every other happening and every other pump, which we've seen in, again, or I've seen in 2016, 2017, 2020, 2021, and then here again in 2024, 2025. So it's kind of a normal thing to see it. I don't think we're even out fully of the bull market. This is just a short term thing because you're seeing these black swan events. The president saying, hey, we're throwing tariffs. Countries are responding. Dollars aren't worth what they used to be worth. People are starting to hoard them, and the prices points are responding there. Bitcoin's speculative investor base is firmly out of pocket and likely increasingly tempted to panic sell. This is something we knew was going to happen. We thought it would happen later at a higher price point. You remember what I said when the first institution loses 10 or 15% and they start to, like, the smaller ones especially start to say, whoa, like we can't lose 10% of ours. That's a big number. We're looking at $1 billion or a few $100 million, and they panic sell, and then the next door neighbor panic sells. Or even what if the smaller ones don't do it? What if BlackRock does it first? What if they say, hey, if we lose 5% of 600 billion, that's a lot of money. Like, we're not trying to lose 5%. Our appetite or lack thereof isn't that high to lose 5%. The way a smaller brokerage firm or even a retail trader can say, oh, I'm okay with losing 30 to 40 to 60, maybe 60%. Some people are okay with losing 60 to 80% without making a move first. Whereas BlackRock is like, 3% is too much. If a BlackRock were to say, I'm done buying or I'm selling or whatever, you better believe everyone else, every other algorithm that follows their trading patterns will follow as well. So that is something to look at. The investor base is being out of pocket and possibly tempting to panic sell. Again, by the end of this show, I think a lot of this sentiment will already change as you're seeing the markets respond already. And sentiment everywhere is non-existent, with the Trade 5 Fear and Greed Index recording its lowest score in history. So again, people are nervous. It's hilarious to me. This is the same type of nervousness I've seen now. Well, I mean, whew, this is I'm thinking about, like, literally since college, which is about to be a lot of years. Like, I saw the fear that people had when oh, Obama's going to be president. We're going to have this black president. All the fear, 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 and nothing happens. Okay. But Trump is crazy. We're going to have him once and twice. Nothing, like, I mean, if you're not originally from here, something's happening. But other than that, nothing's really happening in my world. I don't know. You all tell me. And then you got same with Biden or Kamala. Oh man, the world's going to, nothing's going to happen. Everybody cool your jets, pump your jets, slow down. The same things here. Yes, we having this tariff thing and blah. Like, I, I believe it when I see it at this point. Nothing's going to happen, especially when it comes to crypto and Bitcoin. The markets are strong. The technology is there for many of the good projects. And yes, while we're seeing this volatility, the volatility is once again coming on the traditional side of the house from the governments and banks and cash equivalents. It isn't coming from the crypto side. I would be more worried if we woke up today and it was like, this blockchain has been hacked, or this algorithm, whatever, isn't working, or this popular platform that everyone is on turns out they're centralized, they've been getting hacked and sharing money and commingling funds. Like those are things you have to worry about, because then it's like, whoa, this is like crypto or project specific side of the house versus this is just a response of the overall market. Especially when you look at this decline, you got to remember the institutions are already been in here as far as donating all their hard-earned portfolios to the crypto market. So everything they withdraw, we're immediately seeing. Crypto ETPs shed $240 million last week amid the trade tariff talk, says CoinShares. Year-to-date outflows from crypto ETPs by Grayscale are now bigger than all Bitcoin inflows in 2025 so far, totaling roughly 1.4 billion. You count the ETP inflows and outflows, the ETF inflows and outflows, futures inflows, outflows, and so on. Right now, it's been more outflows than anything. To me, that is okay. Again, this is them kind of manipulating the market. They already pumped it last year. They got a ton of capital from it, and this is them essentially cashing in, I think, right? They're slower on the portfolios. They're stress testing it, something we've already talked about, but it's nothing to worry about. It's just another day in crypto. And here's the craziest thing: if these banks and institutions and these trade talks weren't going on, right? I don't think we will be like in a crazy bull market. I still think we have a lot of sideways movement right now. Maybe still slower growth, in the 1 point something percent, lower than 1 point. So maybe at the end of 4 months, you see a slower growth and a higher point price point Bitcoin and other altcoins. But all in all, I think I mean, I capped it at like 125, 140-ish, 160K all-time high for this cycle. If we would have continued in this cycle, we had no retracement, which even now this could be a small blip, and by the end of the summer, you can see a nice spike. So let's just say this continues on. It's like it still isn't that bad. Again, it's like yeah, there's again, it started off at 20% a day, and we're already back to like 13% for a lot of projects. So to me, this is showing the health and strength of the market now that it is showing that hey, we can share the ETPs and ETFs while they're stress testing the market to see how much money they can make from derivatives. The market is stress testing them right back, saying, how much do we really care? Because right now is novel. And as my laptop slows down because I didn't plug my charger in, right now is novel as far as these companies and how much they're pulling in and they're going out with ETPs and all the other derivatives and the headlines. But just like how China was back in 2016, 2017, 2018, where crypto's legal, is illegal, crypto is legal, it's illegal, Bitcoin's legal, Bitcoin's illegal. And you initially saw, especially in 2016, when China first started doing it, really, you saw the price of Bitcoin responding to it. Every time China said Bitcoin's illegal or legal, whatever, it will pump, it will dip, pump, dip. So would the overall market. Eventually, everyone stopped listening. Like, all right, like China's changing their mind like every week as far as if Bitcoin's legal or illegal, whatever. And people stopped listening. The same thing happened with the futures market. When futures first came out here in the US, they did tame the market, but eventually people were like, okay, we got to bake them futures price. We get a couple of percentage points, not really tripping about what happens there. And I think the same thing is going to happen with the ETPs, ETFs, and the overall derivative market. Now, the question is, does it happen before or after the big boom, the big pop? Because again, I do believe we're in a bubble. Who knows? But I mean, not to worry until something actually happens with the technology. Let's see. Whale makes $14 million Ether emergency deposit to avoid a $340 million liquidation. And you got to remember, folks, people are leveraging their capital right now to make big plays in these volatile times. The whale's $340 million short position faces liquidation if Ether prices falls below $1,119 amid growing investors' fear. Uh, Here's the deal: it's these people who have, or these organizations who have 340 million to throw at a short or a long position on leverage, because well, let's say 100 million, whatever, 50 million, leverage it or whatever, and can afford to throw another 14 million in there. Let's say they threw another 3 4 million in there and they leverage the rest to get to 14, right? Who knows? um I would assume, and not for everyone, but many of them, especially they're making the headlines, a few of them, they're doing everything in their power in the background to ensure that this goes their way also, right? Doesn't mean it's always going to happen. There's a lot of money going on in this space. But that's what I mean by the human intervention in the derivative side of the house. It's like, what else is this person doing to ensure that they meet their price point to not get liquidated, and not just as far as contributing capital? Who are they talking to? How are they getting these Cointelegraph articles, right? So essentially they are doing some type of media thing, or are these just internet sleuths picking it up and Cointelegraph's running with it? Who knows, right? But by and large, I'm like, these people who are making these plays also are making other plays throughout the overall market. But an unidentified crypto whale injected millions of dollars in emergency capital to avoid a potential liquidation of more than 300 million in ether as markets slumped amid renewed macroeconomic pressure. The whale is reportedly close to liquidation on a 220,000 ether position on Maker DAO. Oh, yeah, Maker will get you if you don't do it right. A decentralized finance lending platform. To stave off liquidation, the investor deposited 10,000 ETH worth more than 14.5 million and 3.54 million DAI to raise the position's liquidation price. Blocking analytics firm Look On Chain said in the April 7th post on X. All right, so it was posted on X and they picked it up. That's pretty cool. And again, this is the transparency of it. This came hours after another Ether investor was liquidated for over 106 million on the DeFi lending platform Sky. Peep game, folks. I haven't used these platforms, but you're hearing the names. I mean, if people are making $100 million plays on them, one or two things are happening. This is actually happening. Check the sources, or these are the platforms doing their own plays just so they can make it the news story and get more people onto the platform. Who knows? The whale lost more than 67 ETH when the asset crashed by around 14% on April 6th. Sky system employs an over-collateralization ratio, typically 150% or higher, meaning that users need to deposit at least $150 worth of ETH to borrow 100 DAI. Okay, so they're making sure they have their capital. So again, liquidations continue. That's going to affect the price. And last but not least, as my laptop battery runs low because I didn't charge it, PayPal, Venmo to roll out Solana and Chainlink transfers. Cool to see they're adding more crypto features. Still pretty centralized, but to me, I take this as a win and a base hit because at least more people are learning about the different features of Bitcoin cryptocurrency as a whole, the different ways you can use it, the different platforms is being offered. Just the name itself or the branding to see it could make someone do that first little deep dive. And we know once that bug bites you, you are officially in the mix. So this is a good story to see that they're at least implementing it. Again, very centralized. I wouldn't trust it for everything, but for people who are on the fence about it, now they don't need to download this serious wallet or something they never heard of. You can use your PayPal and Venmo and get them to transact in crypto before you eventually bring them to those private wallets. All right. Other than that, that is the show for the day. Make sure you smash that like and share. I'm about to log off because this computer is about to go dead on me right here. But other than that, I will see you all on Wednesday again. Like I said, it's gonna be a slow cycle right now. Tariff trade news, like unless you just literally want, well, some of you I know you do because just like every other group out there. But I don't want this to be only this administration's president's news every day because they keep making the news, right? Like if nothing else is going on, nothing else is going on. I'll see you all Wednesday with some more then. Smash that like and share.